Hey guys, what is up? You've got Jessie Grossman again from WIM. We've got some great stories this week. Hold on a second. Of course, we've got to introduce my coworker, JoJo. That's JoJo. She's here with me most weeks. She's my coworker. Comment below on who your furry coworker is. Mine is she's pretty quiet. She's pretty well behaved. She doesn't contribute much, but I mean, she's adorable, so she contributes that. Today, there are so many Instagram updates that I'm doing an entire episode update just on Instagram. So I've got my trusted notes here of all these updates for you guys, and I'm really excited to dive into it. They are really stepping up their game. My 2 cents, TikTok is really giving them a run for their money. All right. Update number 1. So this is pretty interesting. So podcasts can now be added to and played from Facebook pages. So this was an update in September of 2021 that Facebook are getting more into the podcast game. So I've tested it. We've added our podcast to our Facebook page, but I tested it. It was super easy to add the podcast. You just go to settings. Now there's a podcasts button to just click that, add it with your RSS feed, and you can play it in the Facebook page. Look, it's great to sort of get the word out there. So if you represent any podcasters or you're working with podcasters in terms of brand partnerships, you might want to confirm that they also have their podcast linked to their Facebook page, simply because it doesn't hurt. You'll just get more listens and more engagement. So hopefully that is helpful for any of you who are sort of dabbling or playing hard in the podcast space. All right, so next we have a really exciting update that I literally tested yesterday. Lives can now be scheduled in advance and promoted into your Instagram feed. So what that allows you to do is to click a remind me button, just like Facebook has. Facebook's had that for a long time when you schedule live streams on Facebook. Now on Instagram, in your feed, there is a little button on the bottom left with details on the event. If you click that, there's a remind me button at the very bottom that says, by clicking this button, you'll be notified 15 minutes before the live stream starts. How awesome is that, guys? So if you are working with influencers in terms of, live streams and you want it to be engaging and live and feel fresh, it's always been so difficult to promote those, right? Because they've always been ephemeral, and I'm sure you could promote it in a feed post or in stories, and you do, but there hasn't ever been a way to click a button and get a reminder to sort of set it. It'd be awesome if you could add it to your calendar, maybe like Clubhouse does. That's pretty cool. But this is a really good step in the right direction. I can imagine and hope that live streams now being scheduled in advance and promoted will just get more and more people to attend them. So very cool. And of course, you can go live with up to 4 people at a time. So very cool. The way that it works too, just to be super clear, is you go to the live button to as if you are currently going live. And then on the left at the very bottom, there's a button that says schedule. So from there, you set the date and the time of the live, and then it asks, do you also want to promote this to your feed? And so that's how you do it. Very, very cool. All right, the next update is a new tool called Account Status. Oh my gosh, people have really appreciated this update. So this one basically will allow you to get more insight into their community guidelines and how they affect your account. You can use this tool to learn what you can post on Instagram and what you can do if your post goes against their guidelines. We've all been there, done that, where an influencer posts whatever and gets flagged and the post is not approved. and you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to go. Who do I contact? Like, there is nobody at Instagram that you can ever actually reach, and you're desperate to figure out what you even did wrong. So now you can find out if you post something that shouldn't be on Instagram, what it can mean for your account. It lets you know when to take action so you can learn what you can do if your post is taken down or if you don't agree with their decision. And you can see the status at any time. So you can view all the posts that have been taken down so you continue to stay informed. This is a really, really positive update. It's sort of mind blowing that this never existed before. I get it from a business perspective. They have so many users, to be able to service them is really difficult. So I'm on to my next update because this is going to blow your mind. Instagram just announced that if you have a creator account, you can now chat in real time and live fairly quickly with a representative from Instagram. Similar to this update about account status, if you see that something's been taken down or you've gone against community guidelines or you're having any issue, if you have a creator account, now you are able to actually reach a real human being. I am mind blown. I will preface this by saying I currently have a creator account. I went to go and test this, and I currently do not have this feature. Not surprising. They're probably rolling it out slowly. I personally know someone who's in WIM who does have this feature, though, and she did a reel about it. Check Lisette Cavaliero's Instagram account. I'll link it in the show notes. She even shows you what it is and what it looks like. That is incredible game changer to be able to have your campaigns go live without having issues and actually be able to have customer support. Mind blowing. All right, next update. So this one is a little bit older, but I don't feel like enough people went in depth about the nuancy details of this. So I wanted to sort of recap the update that Instagram has officially combined IGTV and feed videos into one video format called Instagram video. It's very unimaginative. They don't have any creativity there. So Instagram video, and they're also have introduced even more updates to make creating and discovering video easier. This first thing is probably the best. There is a 60-second feed preview now, which is awesome. Also, a new video tab on the profile. So, you have those different tabs for different content types. Now there's a video tab on there. You can trim your videos in the app. Very cool. You have the ability now to upload captions. That is very, very key. And I'll sort of dive into this for a second because I think it's huge. So if you are on stories and you're not having your influencers uploading captions to all of the branded stories that they're doing, you are absolutely missing out. There are so many statistics talking about the fact that people are watching and consuming Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the platforms with the sound off because it's early morning and their partner's sleeping or whatever the reason. They're at work, slacking off from scrolling on Instagram. And so captions are hugely important. And of course, for, accessibility as well. However, now you're able to upload captions to videos. So that is huge. I'm really excited about that. Facebook has had it for the longest time. As soon as we go live on Facebook, as soon as we end that Facebook Live, the captions automatically populate and they're pretty spot on. So it's not new technology, but great that they're implementing it. And then the last thing is that you can tag people and locations in your videos now. And we all know, or we should, that by tagging people and locations, your content is much more discoverable. So that's huge of an update. I want to let everybody know because, weeks ago, it was like the biggest news. I don't really know why, where, Adam Mosseri from Instagram and all the Instagram peeps were sort of saying Instagram is no longer just a photo sharing app. Like we've known that for the longest time. People went crazy over that update. I don't know why, but it's very obvious that they're going in the direction more of video. They have been for the longest, but now they're sort of like really adding more tools and things to optimize those videos. So very, very cool. All right. Last update on Instagram. This is all about hashtags. So this was also an update that was shared a few weeks ago, but I don't feel like people went into detail enough to understand. Another element that you should always be adding into sponsored content, hashtags. Of course, hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored, that disclosure absolutely needs to be there. But there's an opportunity missed if you're also not adding hashtags specifically for the campaign. And I'm not just talking about campaign hashtags, the one that you create, but hashtags that are regularly searched. You have to remember that Instagram is a search platform. People search all the time for hashtags and keywords, and that discoverability is huge because sure, you want to tap into that influencer's audience, but you also want to think more broadly, right? How many more people can we capture beyond their audience, even simply because we dropped in a hashtag that was searchable or keywords that were searchable? And this sort of goes into in depth about what to think about in terms of hashtags. So there are hashtag do's and don'ts. Number one for hashtag do use hashtags that are relevant to the theme of your content. No brainer. Do check which hashtags your fans already use and follow. How is this relevant to influencer marketers? If it's a product like a beauty product, your team should have a sense of like which hashtags people are searching that are relevant to your product. So if it's mascara, heck yeah, put hashtag mascara or whatever term is really searchable. Make sure to include hashtags that your audience is already using and already following. Do mix well-known and niche hashtags to broaden your discoverability. So yeah, putting hashtag makeup, that's probably millions of hits. But what about like, I don't know, like volumizing mascara? That could be a little bit more niche. The people who find that hashtag are obviously very specifically looking for that type of product. So the amount of hits that you'll get from people, your chances are absolutely increased. All right. Do use specific hashtags so your fans can easily search for your content. You can even create your own. That's a no-brainer. And the last one, this is very controversial. They said, keep the number of hashtags between 3 and 5. All right. The controversy in this is that you have up to 30 to use, but they're suggesting use between 3 and 5. Look, if they say use up to 5, I would follow their rules. They're the ones making the rules. And if you follow them, theoretically, they'll be able to promote your stuff a little bit better. A lot of people also say if you have up to 30, why would you limit yourself to less than that? So food for thought. You can always drop additional hashtags in the comments, but I would recommend probably following their guidelines. Again, they make the rules, so probably following them certainly doesn't hurt. All right. Hashtag don'ts. Don't use hashtags that have nothing to do with your content, like hashtag explore page. TikTok has that problem for days, like the for you page, whatever, FYP, hashtag FYP. Don't use overly generic hashtags. These will make it harder for people to discover your content due to the volume of other people using those hashtags. So, hashtag makeup has so many people who are posting in that. And so your stuff might get lost in the shuffle. And don't use too many hashtags. This says specifically adding 10 to 20 hashtags will not help you get additional distribution. That is specific. That's directly from Instagram, which is very surprising because again, like you get up to 30. So theoretically, like what they're saying is that people search hashtags and so to use relevant ones. So if all 30 of them are relevant, wouldn't I get discovered more? I don't know. I'm just reading what they're writing. I don't know that I necessarily agree with it or understand it for sure, but that is what they mentioned. So, just to recap, lots of updates for Instagram. Number one, podcasts can be added and played on Facebook pages. Instagram lives can now be scheduled in advance and promoted to your feed. There's now an account status button that gives you more insight into how their community guidelines affect your account. There's also a chat with an Instagram human being button. Oh my God. IGTV and in-feed videos are now combined into Instagram video, and there's lots of tools that you can now use to optimize that, including trimming and captions, tagging, and also there's 60-second feed previews, which is really, really cool because the total length is longer. Oh, I didn't mention this. There's also a Reels Play bonus. They're always doing these bonuses. It's now available on Facebook and Instagram because there is now Facebook Reels. That's a new thing. That is invite only, though. Just to be clear, the bonus is invite only. Everyone can post Reels on Facebook now, and they're showing very prominently in the feed. And then the last update is all about hashtag do's and don'ts. All right, guys, what were your thoughts on all these updates? I want to hear from you. I think the most important one and the one that will be certainly utilized the most is that chat feature to be able to chat with Instagram. I do not want to be one of those people. They're probably going to get asked like the most wild questions. But if you have an issue and you have a creator account, as soon as you update your Instagram, they'll be rolling it out. You should have the ability to chat with a freaking human. All right, that is huge news. I hope these updates were helpful for you. Again, let me know. Comment on this video. I hope you guys listen to additional episodes. Also, would love for you to join the community if you are enjoying these conversations. We are a community for those who advocate and hire influencers. WIM is a giant resource and networking opportunity for you to connect with other women in the industry who are kicking ass and taking names just like you.